Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final game of day number 1 here at the 2019 13U Baseball Canada National Atlantic Championships, coming to you live from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And it is a cool, crisp evening here in Dartmouth at the Greeno Field as we get ready for this final game of the day. It's the host team, the Dartmouth Arrows, will be the visiting team for this game, so they'll have the first at-bat against the team from Newfoundland and Labrador, the St. John's Capitals. And because Dartmouth is batting first, let's take you through their batting order. It's going to be Liam Duquette leading off. Batting second will be Mitch Doucette. Batting third, Jacardin Pelly. Batting in the fourth spot, Cole Monk. Batting fifth, Colby DeKoff. Batting sixth, Jacob Burgess. Batting seventh, Ryan Ferguson. And then 8, 9, and 10 are Jake Wambolt, Brandon White, and Braden Curry. Setting the defense for the home team in this game. Again, they are the team from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Around the outfield from left to right, it's Owen Hedges, Daniel Relis, and Dominic Barron. The infield, the left side is Nathan Harvey at third base, Jared Devereaux at short. The right side of the infield is Graham Noseworthy at second and Sean Cole at first. Behind the plate, Luke Druken. And on the mound, getting the start, Luke Martin, the right-hander for the Capitals, as we get ready to roll here in the nightcap. Scheduled to have started at 8 o'clock this evening, but due to one of the games earlier today running a fair bit late, we didn't get the opening ceremonies going until probably about 20 minutes later than intended. And that got us to pretty much a 9 o'clock start here. Looks like first pitch is going to come in at 8:59. For those of you who keep track of such things. And Liam Duquette will be the first batter here. And the first pitch at 8:59 p.m. is a called first strike on Duquette. And I can tell you that at the time of first pitch, it is 12 degrees. Actually, it's cooler than that now. Time of first pitch at 8:59. We'll give you the actual temperature here in just a second, but I can tell you it is cool and it is clear here in Dartmouth. It is 12 degrees at the start of the game. Showing bunt and bunting foul is Duquette, so the count goes to 1-2. One and two count on the. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one misses outside. That was the 1-2 pitch. Misses outside. It's now 2-2. And here comes that 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Duquette goes down swinging for the first out of the top of the first inning. That'll bring up Mitch Doucette, batting second. So Doucette will step in, the left-hander, to face the right-handed pitching Luke Martin. And here comes the first pitch. In for a called strike. 0-1 the count on Doucette. Good start for Martin on the mound for the Capitals. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 0-2. One of the keys to this game is certainly going to be efficiency of pitches. We've seen it a lot in this tournament already. There's a swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks to get things started for Martin, and that'll bring up Jacardin Pelly. The Arrows in their blue jerseys with the orange numbers and the white outline, the numbering and color scheme reminiscent of the New York Metropolitans, while the St. John's Capitals with the Cincinnati-style C on the caps and the color scheme very much that of that same team from Cincinnati. Swing and a miss. And Pelly is even in the count now, 1-1, as Martin working quickly and efficiently here in the top of the first inning. That one popped into foul territory, just beyond the first base dugout where the Capitals are stationed here in this game. So that'll make the count 1-2. And here comes that 1-2 pitch. Martin strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And that will do it for the top of the first inning. Martin making quick work of the Arrows there. And we'll take a look at the defensive alignment for the Arrows. But first, we'll take you through the starting batting order for the St. John's Capitals. Leading off, it'll be the right fielder, Dominic Barron. Batting second, the center fielder, Daniel Relis. Batting third, the pitcher, Luke Martin. Batting fourth is first baseman Sean Cole. Batting in the fifth spot, the shortstop, Jared DeVoe. Batting sixth, catcher, Luke Druken. Batting seventh, the extra hitter, Rowan Dillon. And then 8, 9, and 10 are second baseman Graham Noseworthy, third baseman Nathan Harvey, and left fielder Owen Hedges. Taking a look at the defensive alignment for the Arrows. In the outfield, it's Liam Duquette in left. The center field will be monitored by Jacardon Pelly, and right field belongs to Jacob Burgess. Around the infield from third to first, it's Brandon White, Jake Wombolt, Braden Curry, and Mitch Doucette. Behind the plate is Colby DeKoff, and out on the mound is Ryan Ferguson. Ferguson, the tall right-hander, finishing up his warm-up pitches as we get ready to roll here into the bottom of the first inning of this one. The last game of the day, as mentioned. Earlier results from today, including games involving these two teams. The Dartmouth Arrows won their opener by a score of 8-3 over the team from New Brunswick, that being the Port City Pirates. The team from Newfoundland, the St. John Capitals, they dropped their opener by a score of 10-0 to the Summerside Township Chevys. Other scores from earlier today, it was
St. John's, number 38, Dominic Barron.
The Fredericton Royals defeating the CBS Raiders by a score of 16-1. Closest game of the day was on this field here, the first game of the day from this field, where Capital District Islanders defeated Yarmouth by a score of 6-5. We'll run you through the rest of today's scoreboard in just a moment. But first, there's a strike to Dominic Barron. Other games from earlier today. That pitch misses inside, and it's 1-1. It was Capital District over CBS, 12-2. Yarmouth defeated Fredericton by a score of 6-2, and it was Summerside over Port City by a score of 13-7. That pitch misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2 on Barron. So when you put all of that together, this game in Pool A, and Pool A right now sees Summerside. Swing and a miss. And we've had 4 batters and 4 strikeouts so far here in this one.
Batting number 46,
Summerside leads the way
Daniel
with a record of
Rivas.
2-0. The Arrows right now are at 1-0. The Capitals 0-1 coming into this game. And the team from Port City are 0-2. Over in Pool B, leading the way is also a Prince Edward Island team, as the teams from PEI went 4-0 today. Capital District with a record of 2-0. A pair of teams at 1-1. That being Yarmouth as well as Fredericton. And then 0-2, the record for the team from CBS, Conception Bay South, I believe, is what that acronym stands for, I'm pretty sure. It's CBS and it's Newfoundland Labrador, so I'm pretty sure that's Conception Bay South. They are 0-2. Tomorrow we'll have 4 more games. That will wrap up pool play, and then we'll know the breakdown for what to expect in either tiebreakers or placement games or semifinals and everything else, as Relis is battling hard here in this at-bat. Down in the count 0-2, but he's fouled off a couple of tough pitches to stay alive. Here comes the next 0-2 offering, and that misses high, and the count goes to 1-2. As Ferguson now delivers the 1-2. Grounded back up the middle. Picked up by the shortstop. Throw across in time as Wombolt was able to get onto that ball and get it over to first for out number 2. That'll bring up the Capital pitcher, Luke Martin. As finally, we ended up with a ball getting put in play. We started the game with 4 straight strikeouts, and then Relis put that ball in play, grounding out to Wombolt. Now Martin steps in, the left-handed hitting, right-handed thrower for the Capitals. And Martin swings through the first pitch. The count goes to 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 delivery from Ferguson. Swing and a miss. And it's quickly 0-2. Both of these pitchers getting ahead in counts, working quickly. And when the game started 59 minutes behind schedule, that is certainly much appreciated. There's a grounder through up the middle, and it gets through for a base hit, and we'll get the first base run of the ball game. Then throwing back to first, Martin able to stay in.
Sean Cole.
That'll bring up first baseman Sean Cole with 1 on and 2 away. Martin at first, Cole at the plate, another left-handed hitter. Takes high and inside, ball 1. Cole, a rather tall left-handed hitter. You look at the height and build of some of these players, and you have to almost shake your head and go, yes, it really is the 13U tournament. I think of when I was 13, and these guys would certainly dwarf me at that time. If I could go back in time just a couple of years to when I was 13. Okay, maybe more than a couple, but that one misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Cole, a long look down at his third base coach. Get the signs. And now the pitch. That one catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. Jared Devereaux in the on-deck circle. Another grounder up the middle, gathered up by Wombolt, throw across. And not able to gather it in was Doucette. Throw down to third. And that ball also squirts loose. And so Martin gets all the way around to third. Cole to first on the error. And that will bring up Jared Devereaux. Actually, it's back-to-back errors as they called Martin reaching on an error as well. So Devereaux now with runners on the corners and 2 out. And it looks like Martin may have injured himself sliding into third there. So a bit of a pause as he got checked out. Now he's back at the bag and we're ready to continue. So Martin reached on an error. He now stands at third. Cole reached on an error. He stands at first. And there are 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning, and the Capitals threatening to strike first here in this one. That one fouled back into the netting off the first base side, and ahead in the count 0-1. And Ferguson delivers the 0-1 pitch. Grounder to Wambolt. He'll flip to second, and Curry is there for the putout. 6-4 on the putout for the third out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, and 2 runners left on base. We played 1 complete inning, no score between the Dartmouth Arrows and the St. John's Capitals. Due up for the Arrows in the top of the second, it'll be the extra hitter, Cole Monk, the catcher, Colby DeKoff, and the right fielder, Jacob Burgess. Big thanks to everybody tuning in here on 360 Live, powered by Bell. We appreciate having you along for the ride for all of the games here from the Reno Field number 1. And that will be all of the games tomorrow. And depending on how the schedule works out, we'll have at least 3 games on Saturday. Possibly a 4th, depending on if a tiebreaker is needed or if some games possibly get moved around. We'll have to wait and see. And then 2 more games from Sunday. And the gold medal game will be available on 5TV1, easy for me to say, as the Arrows and the Capitals play here going into the second inning. And we can make this broadcast interactive as well. Send me a message through Facebook or through Twitter. Send me the message through that Twitter. My Twitter account is PetterPC_sports. That's PETTER PC as in Pictou County _sports. Or Facebook, Facebook.com/PetterPC Sports without the underscore. And you can send me a message through either of those medium. And I will, if it's a question, I'll try to answer it. If it's a comment, I'll try to respond to it.
For the Arrows, number 28, Cole Monk.
And here comes Cole Monk leading off in the top of the second inning here. Still scoreless. Martin in the first struck out the side in order. Delivers a first pitch high to Monk here in the top of the second. Martin delivers that one inside, and the count goes to 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one catches the inside corner, and the count now 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Martin delivers. That one fouled way up high into the air and landing back beyond the backstop. The count goes to 2-2 as we see an almost full moon, and that means tomorrow is every teacher's nightmare. It's a combination of Friday the 13th and a full moon tomorrow. And as I mentioned that, teachers start calling in sick immediately, as do nurses, as do police officers. You combine Friday the 13th and a full moon, you're just asking for trouble. 2-2 still the count. And there's a called third strike. Fourth K for Martin. And that'll bring up Colby Dukoff.
Now batting number 55, Colby Dukoff.
Dukoff, the catcher for the Arrows here in this one. As Martin gets himself set and ready to deliver yet again. That one misses high. 1-0 the count. Swinging through that one, it's now 1-1 on Dukoff. And the question becomes, the challenge becomes for Martin, because he's striking out all these batters, he's throwing 4, 5, and 6 pitches. There's another strike to each batter so far. He threw 5 pitches to Duquette, he threw 3 to Doucette, 4 to Pelly, so that's 15 pitches in the first inning. Swing and a miss, and there's a 5th strikeout. He threw 6 pitches to Monk, 4 pitches there to Dukoff, so that's 10. So he's thrown 25 pitches. If they want to have him available tomorrow, he's only got 5 pitches left. If they want to have him available on Saturday, he's only got 20 pitches left. But he's pitching so well, how much do you put the needs of a future game as opposed to the needs of this game? And where do you find that balance? That's going to be an interesting question for the St. John's coaching staff to deal with, as Martin is just absolutely mowing everybody down. That pitch misses just low, and the count goes to 1-1. You would think that they might let him go to 60 pitches so that he'd be available for a medal game on Sunday, as that one fouled way back and out of play. However, the danger of that becomes, if the Capitals don't finish in the top 2 in the group, they'll play their last game on Saturday, and then if him throwing 60 pitches would keep him out of the rest of the tournament. So a lot of things to keep in mind when you're looking at the pitch count of this young right-hander. Another one fouled back, and the count still 2-2. And for the Arrows, this may be the best thing that they can do right now, is continue to foul off pitches, continue to waste some of Martin's pitches to... There's a line shot right back, and excuse me, catch made by Martin. I don't know if that was self-preservation or if that was just a great baseball play, but either way, it's a no-run, no-hit, no error, nobody left inning, as Martin olays that one in, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. No runs again, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It'll be Druken, Dillon, and Noseworthy. That's Luke Druken, as there are 2 Drukens on the St. John's Capitals. Luke's cousin Daniel on the bench to start this game.
The Toronto Blue Jays continue to be an integral partner.
So Luke Druken, Rowan Dillon, and Graham Noseworthy, the scheduled batters here in the bottom of inning number 2 of what is still a 0-0 ball game.
Expertise and advice, which continues to
After a few pitches fouled off and
please visit BlueJays.com and go
the
Jays
first
go.
pitch put in play by a Dartmouth Arrow batter, and it was hard hit, very hard hit, but right back to Martin, who was able to make the catch. And maybe a moment of concern here for the Arrows as Ferguson, during his warm-up pitches, seemed to favor his right leg there coming down. Not on that one. On that one he was bending to get out of the way of the throw down to second, but on one of the pitches earlier in his warm-up tosses, he seemed to favor his right leg a little bit. That may be something, and again he's checking on that right shin. That's something we'll have to watch for here as the game goes on. Swinging through the first pitch is Druken, and the count goes to 0-1. That one fouled back into the trees, off behind our broadcast position here, just slightly on the third base side of the area behind home plate. Here's the 0-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the third strikeout for Ferguson.
Next up, number 39,
That'll bring up
Dillon.
Rowan Dillon. And Ferguson still checking on that shin between batters. First pitch to Dillon catches the bottom of the zone, and the count goes to 0-1. Swinging through the next one is Dillon, and the count 0-2. Ferguson delivers the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Ferguson. And that'll bring up Graham Noseworthy, the
Now
second
batting
baseman.
Number 48, Graham Noseworthy.
Left-handed hitter stepping in. First pitch to Noseworthy. And Noseworthy couldn't hold up on that high fastball. Went around, and the count goes to 0-1. Here comes the 0-1. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. And we're one pitch away from something you don't see very often. I won't mention it exactly until after this pitch, but here comes the 0-2. A called third strike, and there it is. You have it, the perfect inning. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts for Ferguson. Something you almost never see. You might see it once in a blue moon at the major league level, but we just saw it here tonight. A perfect inning. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts for Ferguson. And that takes us through 2 complete innings. Still no score between the Arrows and the Capitals. Due up in the top of the third, it will be Mr. Perfect Inning, Ryan Ferguson leading off, followed by Jake Wombolt and Brandon White. I saw a perfect inning thrown at a baseball or softball Nova Scotia 12 and under U12 provincial championship tournament up in Stellarton last month. And now we see one thrown here at the Baseball Canada 13U National Atlantic Championships. I think in the majors we saw one earlier this year. I want to say it was a Blue Jay pitcher who threw it, or it was thrown against the Blue Jays. I can't remember which. But I also want to say that that was the first one in about 7 or 8 or more years. Now I've had the pleasure of calling 2 in 2 months. One in fast pitch, softball, and one in baseball. And now Ferguson will lead off the top of the third here. Although I don't think Ferguson was aware that
number 52, Ryan Ferguson.
He was scheduled to lead off.
Apologizes for the delay, but pitchers have to pee too.
And apparently it was, he knew he was going to be batting first. He just had an unavoidable delay that kept him from being ready right for the start of this third inning. But now he's out there, and Ferguson is ready to lead things off. Here comes the first pitch from Martin. Swung on and missed. 0-1. No big surprise that we see a first pitch strike from Martin. We've seen so many of those from both of these pitchers combined this evening. That pitch misses high, and the count goes to 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Fouled back and out of play. Into the woods off the third base side here at Greeno Field. We'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning. First pitch scheduled for 8:30. That pitch misses high, and the count goes to 2-2. And we'll be kicking things off with a game between the New Brunswick pitcher, or the New Brunswick team from Fredericton, that being the Royals, and they'll take on the Capital District team from Prince Edward Island. Pop foul high in the night sky here in Dartmouth, and coming down into the glove of first baseman Cole for out number 1.
Number 15, Jake Wombold.
That'll bring up Jake Wombold. So again, that 8:30 game will be between Fredericton and Capital District. Wombold shows bunt, gets the bunt down, and hustling. Now we got a collision there at first base. Wombold is in safely, as Cole and Wombold, bit of a collision there, and Wombold will just take a second to shake things off. The infield single gives the Arrows their first base runner of the game, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Brandon White. The 11:30 game tomorrow will feature the CBS Raiders taking on Yarmouth. Then at 2:30 tomorrow, it'll be the St. John's Capitals taking on the Port City Pirates. First pitch to White misses outside. Then at 5:30, it will be the team from Summerside taking on Dartmouth. That should be a great game tomorrow at 5:30. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll have the home run derby. That one's fouled off. The count goes to 1-1. As Wombold was running with the pitch, but it was a hit and run, and White stuck with it and was able to foul it off to protect the runner, Wombold. Here, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Aces all around the board. That pitch misses high, and the count goes to 2-1. And then Saturday, as mentioned, depending on how things play out, will determine the schedule. There's a swing and a miss at a pitch up and out of the zone. Again, it was a hit and run. But the swing and miss did enough to distract Druken that he wasn't able to catch the ball cleanly, and Wombolt was able to make his way down to second base. That one misses high, and the count goes to 3-2 on White, as the right-handed hitting third baseman draws the first full count delivered by Martin. And a called third strike, strikeout number 6. That's 2 away. That'll bring up Braden Curry, the second baseman.
Number 38, Brandon Curry.
Curry standing in. Takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-1. Two and 2/3 innings so far for Martin. 6 strikeouts. That one just misses. The count goes to 1-1. 6 strikeouts, a foul pop out, and a line drive out, and an infield single. For the 2 and 2/3 innings, there's a slow roller to second, flip to first in time as Noseworthy gets the ball to Cole, and that will do it. So the infield bunt single does not come back to hurt the Capitals. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We play 2.5, and the Arrows and Capitals still looking for the first run of the ball game. Due up for the Capitals in the bottom of the third, it'll be Harvey, Hedges, and Barron, the 9, 10, and 1 hitters for the team from St. John's. As Ferguson and Martin putting on a pitching clinic for us here this evening. As we've seen a couple of very well pitched games here through the course of this tournament already, and more of the same here this evening. Excuse me. As we get ready for the start of the bottom of inning number 3, Nathan Harvey, the third baseman for the Capitals, steps in, the right-hander. Will lead things off here. Swings through the first pitch. And as we have mentioned a few times and seen many times, the pitcher ahead in the count. That one fouled back, and it's 0-2. While not all of the pitches have been in the strike zone, that is an incredible 13 straight strikes. There's a foul to stay alive by Harvey. As Ferguson dealing here. Swing and a miss. And that's 4 straight strikeouts for Ferguson. And that'll bring up Owen Hedges for his first at-bat of the game. Hedges, the left fielder, standing in here with 1 out and nobody on. Bottom of the third, shows bunt. Pulls the bat back as the pitch misses high and outside. Here comes the 1-0. Fouled high into the night sky and back into the woods behind us. The count goes to 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That misses high, and it's 2-1.
Now batting for St. John's, number 37, Owen Hedges.
Dominic Barron, the leadoff hitter in the on-deck circle. That one bounces off the front of the plate, almost all the way up over the backstop, and the count goes to 3-1. That one misses high, ball 4. And I was just about to make the comment that it was the first time that Ferguson had thrown 3 balls, 3 out of the zone to any batter. And before I could even get that thought finished, Hedges takes ball 4. And that'll bring up Barron. Dominic Barron struck out his first time up, one of now 5 strikeout victims of Ferguson. And Barron swings through the first pitch. The count goes to 0-1. The 0-1 pitch, that misses high and tight, and the count's 1-1. And the comments I was making earlier in the game about Martin now equally apply to Ferguson. How far do you let him go, balancing wanting to have him available later in the tournament versus wanting to keep the hot hand rolling here in this one. That one catches the inside corner for a called third strike. And that is Barron's second time going down. First time struck out swinging, this time struck out looking. That'll bring up Daniel Relis. Relis grounded out to Wombold his first time up. Comes up here with a runner on first and 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Throw over, and a nice play there by Doucette to catch that ball as the throw was a little bit high, but Doucette able to nab that one and keep that ball from getting away and keeping Hedges at first base. Long look in by Ferguson. Breaking ball just misses. And the count 1-0 here on Relis. Relis had a great battle his first time up, fouling off several pitches to stay alive. Takes a strike there, and the count goes to 1-1 before getting that ground out to Wombold. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 1-2. Ferguson with some real nice movement on his pitches. 1-2 the count here on the center fielder. Runner going. Grounded through the middle, actually knocked down. Knocked down by Curry, but not able to make a play with it. Hedges advances to second. Relis on base.
Martin.
And that will bring up Luke Martin. He reached on an error his first time up. And our official scorers mark that as an error as well. So 4 Capitals base runners in this game, 3 reaching by error and 1 reaching by way of the walk so far. Martin here with 2 on and 2 out. Takes a first pitch strike, and the count goes 0-1. Ferguson again, a long look in to face the left-handed hitting Martin. Martin grounds that one. That'll get through the infield and quickly back in as a good throw from Burgess back into the infield to Doucette, and there's a single for Martin.
Cole.
That will load the bases with 2 away and bring up Sean Cole. Before we get to Cole, however, we'll get a meeting at the mound. And the Arrows coach waving the rest of the infield away. He wants to talk just to Ferguson and to Koff. As they talk things over, Cole reached on an error his first time up. Has a chance to help out his team with the bases loaded, 2 away. And considering we're into the bottom of the 3rd inning of what is still a scoreless ball game, you've got to figure that this at-bat could be a key turning point in this game one way or the other. That one fouled back, and the count 0-1. The 0-1 swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. The right-hander Ferguson against the left-hander Cole. With the bases loaded, swung on and missed, and Ferguson will win that battle. He strikes out the side for the 2nd straight inning. In between, however, he gave up 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 walk. That left the bases loaded, but still no runs for either team. We'll head to the 4th inning and due up in the top of the 4th for the Arrows. It'll be Duquette, Doucette, and Pelly, the top of the order. And we will head to inning number 4, still scoreless.
We got Brad Pitt, we got Keanu Reeves, but we got the best leg fishing, you best believe.
As it is still going to be Martin out there, as expected.
We say hey, you say y'all, yeah, we both got pro football, except we got bigger balls and a longer field. We say Z, you say Z, sure we watch all your TV. You got stronger arm down there, man up here.
Sorry, just laughing. Luke Martin there as he's throwing his warm-up pitches, singing along with the in-house music here. Having a great time out there. And that's just as important as wins and losses, absolutely. Oh. I gotta admit, I enjoy watching young ball players having fun. That's what the game's all about.
Leading off for the Dartmouth Arrows, number 29.
So it'll be Liam Duquette leading things off. Duquette, one of the 6 strikeout victims of Martin, his first time through the order. That first time through the order, 10 batters, 3 complete innings, 6 strikeouts, a pop out, a line out, a ground out, and a single, an infield bunt single. And a foul tip for a first pitch strike to Duquette. Couldn't ask for much better from Martin, his first time through the order. Just that bunt single, the only base runner he has allowed. That pitch misses high and inside, and the count goes to 1-1. 0-1-3 for the Arrows. 0-1-0 for the Capitals. That pitch misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. Duquette, bunt, and the throw was high. Duquette may have beat it out anyway. We'll wait for the official word.
Number 22.
But the leadoff batter
Doucette.
reaches base, and that'll bring up Mitch Doucette. He also was a strikeout victim that first time around. And it is an infield single for Duquette, as the indication is that he would have beat the throw even if it had not pulled Cole off of the bag, and I think that's probably the right decision there. Doucette standing in. First pitch misses high, and the count 1-0. And obviously, as we're nearing the midway point of this game, still scoreless, every base runner becomes that much more important. Runner going, the pitch misses high and inside. It gets past Druken, and that allows Duquette to get down to second without drawing a throw. And Doucette ahead in the count, 2-0. So Duquette at second, Doucette at the plate. That one misses just low, and the count goes to 3-0. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Missing inside, ball 4, and the first two batters reach, and that's going to draw a meeting at the mound for the St. John's Capitals. And I believe it may also draw not just a meeting, but I think it is just going to be a meeting at the mound as he wants to talk things over with his pitcher, Luke Martin. As Jacardin Pelly steps in.
Number 81, Jacardin Pelly.
With runners on first and second and nobody out, the Arrows threatening to strike first here in the top of the fourth inning. Martin trying to quell this rally before it gets going any further. That one grounded through the left side of the infield. Stopping at third is Duquette, as Hedges played that ball well out in left. So now 2 hits and a walk have loaded the bases for Cole Monk.
Number 28, Cole Monk.
Monk led off the second inning with a strikeout. Coming up here now in the fourth with a chance. Bases loaded, nobody out. And the captains have drawn the infield in to try and get a play at the plate. First pitch in, bounces to the plate. Well blocked by Druken. And the count 1-0. Infield drawn in for the Capitals. There's a grounder that'll get through the drawn-in infield. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. The ball gets past Hedges out in left field. The 3rd run, Pelly will score, and a bases-clearing double has opened the scoring for the Dartmouth Arrows in a big way. It is now 3-0. A 3 RBI double for Cole Monk. Duquette, Doucette, and Pelly all come in to score. And you couldn't ask
Colby DeCoff
for a much bigger hit for Monk. A bases clearing double gives them the 3-0 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. And now we'll get another meeting at the mound and we'll get a pitching change. And it looks like Cole, who was playing first base, being sent into the dugout to get a different glove. So it's safe to say that he'll be moving to a different position. What position that will be, it looks like he'll be coming in to pitch. And coming in to play first base, it appears that that will be Cameron Penton. So Penton will come in to play first. And I believe he'll take Martin's spot in the batting order, I would believe. So Sean Cole moves from first base to the pitcher's mound. Cameron Penton comes in to play first base, and I believe, again, we'll wait to find out for sure. But it looks like he'll take Martin's spot in the batting order, so that'd be the 3 spot. And the challenge with our broadcast position being a little bit away from the scorer's table. We can't hear all of those changes as they're being delivered to the official scorers, so we have to wait and see what pops up. Actually, Martin is still in the game. So Cameron Penton not coming into Martin's spot. Looks like Martin's going to play second base. So that means Penton will come in to Noseworthy's spot. So again, Sean Cole goes from first base to pitcher. Luke Martin goes from pitcher to second base. Noseworthy was playing second base, comes out of the game, and Cameron Penton comes into the game to play first base, which was the position vacated by Monk. And Colby DeCoff will step in and be the first batter faced by the new pitcher, Sean Cole. And the Dartmouth Arrows now with the 3-0 lead and still nobody out. That pitch misses inside, goes to the backstop, and Monk will head down to third. And DeCoff is ahead in the count here, 1-0. As we approach 10 o'clock in the evening. That pitch misses inside and gets past Druken as well, and Monk will come in to score the 4th run of the inning and the 4th run of the game for the Arrows. And that will empty the bases with still nobody out. Here, and Dukoff ahead in the count 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. That pitch misses high, 3-0. Dukoff well ahead in the count now, 3-0. Takes, and that one in for a now 3-1 count. Here comes the 3-1. That one catches the inside corner, and it's 3-2. So the count runs full here on Dukoff. Sean Cole pitching now from the full windup. That misses low, ball 4. And Dukoff will take first base with the walk. That'll bring up Jacob Burgess. Burgess lined back
Number
to
59,
Martin his
Jacob
first time up.
Burgess.
A very hard hit ball, but right back to the mound, and Martin able to make that catch for that, what was at the time the third out of inning number 2. That pitch catches the outside corner, the count 0-1 on Burgess. The left-handed hitting right fielder for the Arrows. Here comes the pitch. That misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, one strike here on the Arrow right fielder. That misses in the dirt, gets past Druken, and Dukoff able to get down to second. And 2-1 now the count on Burgess. That one also misses. Druken recovers and throws it past third baseman Harvey out into left field. And so Dukoff will come all the way around to score. It's now 5-0. And Burgess is ahead in the count 3-1, and we'll have another meeting at the mound here as the Capitals starting to throw the ball around a little bit. And we're going to get another pitching change. And coming in to pitch now, it will be Daniel Druken. And it looks like it'll just be a straight swap, Cole for Druken.
Now pitching for St. John's, number 47, Daniel Druken.
So the Cousins will be playing catch now. Daniel Druken on the mound. Throwing to Luke Druken behind the plate. And we'll see if Daniel Druken can have a little more success than Sean Cole did there. Cole facing just 2 batters. Well, really, a batter and a half in a sense, in that Burgess's at-bat is, or plate appearance is not completed yet. Druken will come in with a 3-1 count on Burgess. We can close the book on Martin. After the first 3 stellar innings, he ended up throwing 3+, giving up 4 runs on 3 hits, or 4 hits, excuse me. 4 runs on 4 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 6 in his 3+ innings. The line on Cole walked one who came around to score. And depending on what happens with Burgess, may or may not have Burgess on his record as well. And so Burgess will now step back in with the Arrows leading it now 5-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. Again, a big thanks to everybody tuning in here on 360 Live through Bell. And here comes the first pitch from Daniel Druken. And it's lined and caught by the second baseman Martin for the first out of the fourth inning. That'll bring up Ryan Ferguson. Ferguson popped out to the first baseman his first time up. So that will close the book on Sean Cole and his pitching performance. Faced one batter, walked that batter who came around to score. Pitch to Ferguson, misses high, ball one. As Druken now delivers the 1-0. That one popped up high. Left side of the infield, coming in to make the catch is Harvey. And Druken has thrown 3 pitches and gotten 2 outs. That'll bring up Jake Wombolt. Wombolt had a bunt single his last time up.
Jake Wombolt.
Wombolt was the first Arrows player to reach base back in the third inning. That one misses high and inside, ball one. As the Arrows have broken what was a scoreless game open here with 5 so far here in the top of the fourth. 2 away, the bases are empty. Wombolt trying to work his way back on base is ahead in the count 2-0. The left-hander, Daniel Druken, fires that one high, and the count goes 3-0. And here comes the 3-0 pitch. That'll miss outside. Walking on 4 pitches is Wombolt as he'll reach base for the second time. And that'll bring up Brandon White. He struck out looking his first time up. White steps in here with 1 on and 2 away in the top of inning number 4. Druken now pitching from the stretch. That pitch misses outside, ball 1.
Now batting number 10, Brandon White.
1-0 count here on White with Braden Curry in the on-deck circle. That one fouled back into the backstop, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 out. Hard hit ball out to center field. Wombolt was running with the pitch. The ball gets away from Relis. Heading around third, trying to come in with an inside the park home run, and he will make it, is Brandon White, an inside the park 2-run home run. Makes it 7-0. Actually, they're calling it a single and an error as Realist misplayed the ball out in center. So just one RBI for White on that one. And that'll bring up Braden Curry. No, yes, it will bring up Braden Curry. He grounded out his first time up back in the third inning. As we play now here in the fourth with the score now 7-0. That pitch misses high, ball
Now
one.
batting for the Arrows, number 38, Braden Curry.
That one also misses high, the count 2-0. What was a pitcher's duel through the first 3 innings. The Arrows have broken wide open here in the fourth. That one fouled off. It's now 2-1, the count. And assuming, of course, there's still a lot of game left, but now another one fouled off, and the count goes to 2-2. But if the Arrows do hold on to win this game, they will improve to 2-0. They'll be tied with Capital District with a record of 2-0. Or no, sorry, they'll be tied with Summerside in this pool with a record of 2-0. There's a slow roller. And in time for the third out. Nice play made there by Daniel Druken getting off the mound and able to retire Curry. But all 10 batters for the Arrows come up to the plate, and 7 of them come in to score. 7 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error, or 2 errors, excuse me, and nobody left on base. We've played 3.5, and the complexion of this game has changed significantly as the Dartmouth Arrows now lead the St. John's Capitals 7-0. Due up in the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Jared Devereaux, Luke Druken, and Rowan Dillon. And again, if the Arrows hold on to win, they'll be tied with Summerside Chevys with a record of 2-0, and both of those teams will have clinched a spot in the semifinals, and they'll be facing each other for first place in the pool in the 5:30 game tomorrow. And the Capitals and the Pirates will both be 0-2. And they'll be playing for third and fourth place in this pool when they meet at 2:30 tomorrow. As there is a change being announced for the Arrows here. Just trying to look around and see where that change is. As I look around.
Now batting for St. John's, number 51, Jared Devereaux.
Jared Devereaux steps in. He grounded out to end the first inning. There it is. A.J. Rogers now playing second base for the Arrows. First pitch to Devereaux fouled back, and the count goes to 0-1. So A.J. Rogers replaces Braden Curry at second base. And I believe that's the only change at this point, yes. Another one fouled off. And the count now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch from Ferguson. Devereaux fouls that one back, and the count remains 1-2. And here comes the 1-2 from Ferguson. Another one fouled back, and it's still 1-2. Devereaux in a good battle here. Staying alive with a couple of good fouls off of some well-pitched balls from Ferguson. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball was in the dirt. And so we'll get the throw down to first to retire Devereaux.
Next up, number 40, Luke Druken.
That'll bring up Luke Druken. For Ferguson, that strikeout of Devereaux, his 8th of the game. There's a grounder foul down the third baseline. 8 strikeouts now for Ferguson so far on the game. 7, 4, and 3 for the Dartmouth Arrows. 0, 1, and 2 for the St. John's Capitals. Here as we play the bottom of the 4th. And the pitch from Ferguson. That one out to left field will drop in for a single. And that will bring up Rowan Dillon. He struck out his first time up, one of the
Rowan
8
Dillon.
strikeouts. And it looks like we are going to see a pitching change as he is at 60 pitches. So in order for Ferguson to be available on Sunday,
Major League Baseball continues to be a significant
it looks like they will, the Arrows will make the pitching change to have Ferguson available for Sunday. 3 1/3 innings of
and associated revenue for
2-hit
developmental programming initiatives
baseball,
such as the Winter Ball program and all Baseball Canada championships. Visit MLB.
No runs on 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 batters reached by way of errors, or 3 batters reached by way of errors. And coming in to take over on the mound will be Aiden Webb. And it looks like it's going to be just a straight swap there. Actually, no, it's going to be some defensive moving around as Webb comes into the game and Ferguson comes out. And we'll look around to see who lines up where. No, it is going to be Webb on the mound. So Webb comes in taking over as the pitcher for Ryan Ferguson. And it looks like the rest of the defense will just stay as it is after A.J. Rogers came in to start the inning.
Now pitching for the Arrows, number 94, Aiden Webb.
With 1 on, 1 out here, bottom of inning number 4. That pitch misses low, ball 1. That one misses just outside, and the count goes to 2-0. There's a strike, and the count 2-1. That one will miss high, and it's now 3-1. Here comes the 3-1, swung on and missed, and it's now 3-2. Luke Druken still at first base here with a 7-run margin. There's a called third strike, and that'll be the first strikeout for the new pitcher, Webb. And that'll bring up Cameron Penton, excuse me. Penton stepping in for his first plate appearance after coming in as a defensive replacement during the switches in the top of the fourth inning. And the first pitch to Penton ended up missing. That one just misses as well, and the count now 2-0. Webb gets himself set and delivers the 2-0. That misses a little bit high, and it's 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Catching the inside corner. And Penton still ahead in the count, but it's now 3-1. Swung on and missed, and the count runs full. Good battle there by Webb to get back into it after the first three missed the zone. And the count now full with 2 away. Arrows with the 7-run lead. Runner going, and the pitch misses, as it was 3-2 with 2 away, so naturally the runner would be going. Penton takes the walk, and that puts Druken at second base.
Nathan Harvey.
And we'll bring up Nathan Harvey. He struck out his first time up. That was leading off the third. The third baseman stands in with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch strike from Webb. As we play here in the bottom of the fourth inning. That one fouled back, and the count goes to 0-2. Webb gets himself set, and the righty delivers. Called third strike. So between the two pitchers, they strike out the side, but they also give up 1 hit and 1 walk. No runs on that 1 hit, no errors. Then the 2 runners left on base. We've played 4 complete, and the Dartmouth Arrows lead the St. John's Capitals by a score of 7-0. Due up in the top of the 5th. It's back to the top of the order again. Liam Duquette, Mitch Doucette, and Jacardin Pelly for the Arrows.
Thank you to our local sponsors, Trimar Promotional Products, Dartmouth Memorial Gardens, XL Electric Limited, Seamus McDavid's Pub, Moduloc Fencing, M-Tech Engineering, Baseball Canada, Baseball Nova Scotia, the Dartmouth Arrows, I&P Solutions, LifeMark, Lenkeek Vessel Engineering, SD Orthodontists.
With it being a 7-run margin here in the 5th.
Don't forget, tomorrow night is the Dovetail Bat Home Run Derby right here on this field. 1 rep from each team. We'll be hitting the bombs using Dovetail wood bats, with the winner taking home a brand new Dovetail bat.
And again, reminder, we got 4 games on the schedule for tomorrow. The first one set to go at 8:30. Fortunately for these 2 teams, neither of them are involved in this game, or in that game. The Capitals will be back on the field at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, so they'll get a chance to sleep in a little bit. The Arrows, they're not back on the field until 5:30 tomorrow, so they could even go to school. Although they're out a little bit late on a school night here. Some of us don't have quite that same luxury. We have to be back here for first pitch of the first game tomorrow morning at 8:30. Such is the way things go in the world of baseball tournaments. As we are ready to go here for the top of the fifth. And leading off, it will be
number 49, Carter Sonchins.
And we're going to get a pinch hitter. Carter Sonchins comes into pinch hit. Leading off the top of the fifth. So Sonchins stands in. Swings through the first pitch he sees, and the count goes to 0-1. Fouls that one off, and the count 0-2 on the left-hander. As Daniel Druken continues to pitch to his cousin Luke behind the plate. That one misses high and inside, and the count now 1-2. 7-0 the score line. All 7 runs for the Arrows coming in the 4th inning. As we play here in the 5th. That one popped up, foul territory. And it goes all the way out of play, so the count will remain 1-2. As it continues to cool off even a little bit further here in Dartmouth. That one misses high and inside as well, and the count goes to 2-2. Druken set with the 2-2. Misses outside, and the count runs full on Sonchins. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, or the 3-2 pitch. And it just misses ball 4, so a leadoff walk here in the 5th. That'll bring up Mitch Doucette. He struck out in the 1st, walked and scored in the 4th.
Number 22, Mitch Doucette.
And Doucette here with one on, nobody out to start off the top of the 5th. Sonchins at first after the leadoff walk. Druken, throw over. And Sonchins back in. Druken with a good move for a left-hander. Hard to be really tricky there as a left-handed pitcher with that throw over to first. Ball gets away momentarily from Luke Druken, and that allows for Sonchins to get into second base. A bit of an awkward slide in, but he does get in safely. And the count on Doucette goes to 1-0. So Mitch Doucette ahead in the count here. Time called as Martin needs to retie his shoe. He's ready to go, and so too is Daniel Druken. Druken delivers. That one fouled off. Well out of play. Down the third base side, and the count goes to 1-1. Druken, a couple of looks back at second. Now he'll deliver, runner going. That one fouled off, and the count goes to 1-2. One ball, two strikes. Druken turns to second, but Saunchin's able to get back in time. Does not draw an actual throw. That one grounder, slow roller to first. Winning the race to the bag is Penton. Saunchin's will get to third on the play. And that's the first out of the fifth inning. That'll bring up Jacarden Pelly. Pelly struck out in the first, singled and scored in the fourth. A productive out there for Doucette as he was able to move the runner over to third base. Pelly now standing in. With that runner on third and just one away. First pitch to Pelly, in for a strike. That one fouled off the front of the plate, and the count goes to 0-2. Capitals playing at regular depth on the infield, willing to trade an out for the run with it being a 7-run game. Druken steps off the bag, looks Saunchin's back to the back to third, and Saunchin's comes back. Now he'll take his lead again as Druken gets himself set. There's a hard hit ball out to right field. And Pittman, who's now playing right field, fields that one as the RBI single for Pelly. Drives in the 8th run of the game. It is 8-0.
Number 28, Cole Monk.
That'll bring up Cole Monk. He struck out in the second and then had a 3-run double in the fourth, scoring the first 3 runs of the ball game. And throw over to first, and getting back in is Pelly. And the run represented by Monk right now becomes significant because if Pelly and Monk both end up scoring, that would make it a 10-run margin, which would mean that the game could potentially end in the 5th. And there's a bit of a misplay by Relis out in center field. Pelly gets around to third on the single by Monk. As again, Mark Pittman came in to play right field. And I apologize for missing that earlier here in this inning. The outfield for the Capitals, Hedges is still in left, Relis in center, Pittman now in right. The infield remains Harvey, Devereaux, Martin, and Penton, and it's still the battery of Druken and Druken. Runners on the corners, one away, and that potential 10-run margin represented by Monk over at first base. That pitch to Dukoff misses high, as was not quite a pitch out, but certainly a purpose pitch to see if the Arrows had something going. There's a ball driven out to deep left or deep center field. It gets over the head of Relis. Relis chases it down. Another double for Dukoff. Or actually, that's Dukoff's first double. Monk stops at third. Pelly comes in to score. It's now 9-0. Dukoff with the RBI double. That'll bring up Jacob Burgess.
Jacob Burgess.
With runners at second and third and still just one out. Burgess 0 for 2, lined out to the pitcher, lined out to the second baseman. His two previous at-bats. And that run represented by Monk standing at third base, again significant if it becomes a 10-run margin. There's a grounder. That gets through the first baseman, Penton. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. And we'll wait to see how they score that. It's now 11-0. And now the Capitals will need to score at least 2 runs to force the 6th inning to need to be played, as those 2 big runs for the Arrows have created an 11-run margin.
Now batting Aiden Webb.
And that'll bring up Aiden Webb for his first plate appearance since coming in the pitching change in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch to Webb, misses outside, ball 1. And again, Burgess reaching with the 2 RBI single. That one misses high, and the count goes to 2-0. So the Capitals will have a chance to bat in the bottom of the 5th, but if they don't put up at least 2 runs and bring the margin back into single digits, that will be the end of the ball game. Webb swinging at one that might have been up out of the zone. Gets a piece of it, fouling it off. Again, for Webb, this is his first plate appearance of the game after coming in, replacing Ferguson on the mound. That pitch misses, and the count goes to 3-1. One away here, top of inning number 5. 11-0 the score in favor of the Dartmouth Arrows. That one misses high, ball 4. That'll put runners at first and second. And it looks like we're going to see a pitching change here. Or perhaps not a pitching change, just a pep talk here from the coach, trying to tell his boys, keep your chins up.
Now
as Jake Wombolt steps
15,
in.
Jake Wombolt.
Wombolt stepping in with runners on first and second. And one away. That pitch just misses outside. Runners go as the ball bobbled by Luke Druken. And they will take second and third. And Wombolt ahead in the count here, 1-0. Daniel Druken ready to deliver. Swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-1. Good curveball there by Druken, as that ball had plenty of break. The 1-1 misses high. 2-1. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Hedges, Pittman, and Relis. That one fouled back, and the count goes 2-2. And again, as it currently stands, the Capitals, will need to score at least 2 to force the 6th inning. The way the ruling is worded, if the margin is 10 or greater at the end of the 5th inning, that would be the ball game. So the Capitals would need to bring it to within 9 to force the 6th inning to be played and keep it within 9 or less.
Now batting number
force
10,
the 7th.
Brandon White.
Wambolt swings through and strikes out. That's 2 away. That'll bring up Brandon White. White struck out in the 3rd, singled, drove in a run, and came around to score one himself in the 4th. Sends that one high into the air in right center field. And making the catch is Pittman for the 3rd out. And that will do it for the top of the 5th. But the Arrows put 4 more on the board. They get those 4 runs on 4 hits. There was no errors, and 2 runners left on base. And we've played 4.5. It's 11-0 for the Dartmouth Arrows. The St. John's Capitals need to score, and they need to score twice to extend this game. They need to score at least twice to extend this game. The Arrows would love to be able to finish this off and save a couple of extra innings worth of pitching. Save a little bit of time as well, as we're approaching 20-11 at night here in Dartmouth. A reminder again, our first game will be tomorrow morning at 8:30, bright and early. Hopefully bright, unlike this morning, which was gray and gloomy and early. Supposed to be partly cloudy tomorrow, unlike the cloudy skies that we had for much of the day today. So again, it's Hedges, Pittman, and Relis due up for the Capitals. And as I mentioned earlier, if the Arrows do hold on to win, both they and Summerside will clinch spots in the semifinals. And both the Capitals and the Pirates will be playing for 3rd and 4th place in the pool when they meet tomorrow at 2:30. So that will mean definitely one tiebreaker will not be necessary. And then depending on how things play out tomorrow,
for St. John's, number 37, Owen
see whether
Hedges.
we have any need for any tiebreakers at all. Here's Owen Hedges. He walked his first time up. And give the Capitals bench credit. They have not lost any of their enthusiasm. They're still chanting. They're still cheering on. There's a swing and a miss. And the count 0-2 here on Hedges, as Webb working to end this one, trying to end it in relatively short order. That pitch misses high and inside, and the count 1-2. Pittman in the on-deck circle. Relis also due up this inning. That pitch misses low, and it's now 2-2. That one also misses low, and the count now runs full on Hedges. that pitch misses, and after going down in the count 0-2, Hedges maintains his
Number
eye
50, Mark Pittman.
to earn himself a watch, bringing us around to the top of the order for Mark Pittman. Pittman getting his first plate appearance of the game. And he takes the first pitch for a ball. That one in for a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Hedges, the leadoff batter. That's right the first time. That one fouled back, and the count 1-2 on Hedges. And on Pittman, excuse me. And Pittman right now represents the game extending run with one on first and nobody out. That one fouled off. And the count now remains 1-2. Webb trying to finish things off. That pitch misses, and the count now 2-2. There's a grounder. Wombolt charging hard from short. Over to first in time, and then a throw to second in behind the runner, Hedges, and he just gets back to the bag. That's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Daniel Relis.
46, Daniel Relis.
So Hedges now at second base, and Relis represents the potential game extending run. There's a called first strike, and the count 0-1. Relis grounded out in the first, reached on an error in the third. Fouled off, and the count 0-2. As Webb came in, got the last 2 outs of the fourth inning in relief of Ferguson, who threw the first 3 1/3. Swing and a miss, a big sweeping curveball there. Gets Relis over the top of it. And we're down to the possible final out of the ball game.
Luke Martin.
But it appears that Webb will not get a chance to do that, as he threw 30 pitches. So for him to be available for tomorrow, that's going to be it for him. And the next pitcher for the Arrows will be A.J. Rogers. And it appears it's going to be a straight swap. Rogers for Webb.
New pitcher for the Dartmouth Arrows, number 32, A.J. Rogers.
It looks like it will, yes, be a straight swap. Rogers for Webb. So Webb will go and play second base. Rogers becomes the third pitcher, and he is going to be tasked with trying to get just one out without giving up more than one run. And we'll wait to see for sure that how the Arrows position themselves. As Rogers finishes his warm-up tosses. And indeed, Webb does go to second base. So it is just the straight swap. Webb to second, Rogers to first, or Rogers to pitcher. And the first batter that Rogers will face will be Luke Martin. Martin reached on an error in the first, singled in the third, and will need to get on base to try and extend this ball game as the Capitals trail by 11 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 11 runs on 7 hits for the Arrows. No runs, just 2 hits for the Capitals. As the Capitals bench continues to be enthusiastic, cheering on their team. That pitch misses outside, ball 1 on Martin. Here comes the 1-0, swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1. The 1-1 coming from Rogers. Misses low, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. That catches the zone, and the count goes to 2-2. And the Capitals down to their final strike. The 2-2 pitch coming from Rogers. Misses outside, and it's 3-2. The count runs full. Here comes that 3-2 pitch. The payoff. Misses high, ball 4. That puts runners at first and second. And that'll bring up Daniel Druken. Druken making his first plate appearance of the game after he came in to replace Sean Cole on the mound. And Druken fouls that one back up over.
Up now, number 47, Daniel Druken.
Over the netting. The left-handed throwing Druken stands in as a right-handed batter. That pitch misses inside, and the count goes 1-1. So the right-handed batting, Daniel Druken, facing the right-handed throwing A.J. Rogers. That pitch misses down and in, and it's 2-1. That one also misses low, but caught a little too far away from the bag, somehow getting in under the tag is Martin. As the throw down behind the runner, it looked like it got there in time, but the attempted tag applied by Doucette, somehow Martin avoids it. Hedges advances to third on the throw down to first, and it's now runners on the corners with 2 out. That one fouled back, and the count runs full, 3-2. So for the second time, the Capitals are down to their final strike. They survived the first potential death blow. Can they do it again? The 3-2 pitch misses high, ball 4, and they do survive yet again. Back-to-back walks load the bases. And that'll bring up Jared Devereaux. Devereaux grounded out to end the first, struck out to lead off the fourth. Comes up here in the fifth with the bases loaded, 2 away. And a chance to keep this game going. That pitch misses high, ball 1. Hedges stands at third, Martin at second, Daniel Druken at first. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 1-1. If Martin comes in to score, we play inning number 6. If any more runs come in to score after Martin, well, we'd play inning number 6 anyway. Throw down to second. Coming in to score is Hedges as they throw behind Martin. Hedges takes advantage of it, comes in to score. It's now 11-1. And still 2 away. That one is going to get away from Dukoff. And the potential game-extending run now stands at third base.
All right, 3-2. Take it to him. Here you go.
2-1 the count on Devereaux. That one, or it was 3-1, excuse me. And Devereaux earns a walk. That's 3 straight walks. And we'll get a meeting at the mound with Luke Druken due up. And the meeting on the mound has ended. Dukoff coming back to his position behind the plate. Rogers getting himself set with the bases loaded, 2 away. The potential game-extending run standing at third base. First pitch misses outside, ball 1.
All right, looks good. Dial it in there like you can. Hit the mitt.
Rogers delivers the 1-0. Grounded to short. Wambolt flips to second, and that's the ball game.
Final score, Dartmouth Arrows 11.
The Capitals threaten. They
Capital
do put 1 on the
1.
board. 1 run, no hits, no errors. And the bases left loaded, but the final score is 11-1 in favor of the Dartmouth Arrows. We'll stick around for the handshakes and the presentation of the players of the game, and then we'll sign off until 9.5 hours from now when we get the first game of the day at 8:30 tomorrow morning. The final score, once again, the Dartmouth Arrows beat the St. John's Capitals 11-1. The Arrows clinch a spot in the semifinal, as do the Summerside Chevys. And for the Capitals, their player of the game, number 52, Luke Martin, who started the game on the mound, had a great game on the mound. And for the Arrows, no big surprise that it's their starting pitcher, Ryan Ferguson, as well. So the two starting pitchers, the 2 number 52s in their respective lineups, are your 2 players of the game. That'll wrap up day number 1. The final score, once again, the Arrows defeat the Capitals 11-1. Until tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8:30 for the opening game of the day, this is Michael Petter saying, may your pitches hit the corners, may your liners hit the gaps. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.